Tonight on Business Live, a threat to national security. That's how Ayitey describes increasing cases of theft of telecom equipment.
In weeks to get the services restored, depending on the items that were stolen. So the impact is on the economy, the impact is on national security.
We'll have a report from the Ashanti region where two persons accused of posing as engineers of the telecom firm appeared before a circuit court. Also, we will tell you how Ghana Power Compact 2 project funded by the Millennium Development Authority has helped increase power reliability and supply capacity.
Our goal was to reach this stage with all these projects completed, and I think we have done it.
And it's Green Day, Green Ghana Day, of course, and ahead we'll engage an energy strategist who is making a case for the country's upstream sector to focus on some sustainable initiatives on climate change. All these stories and more coming shortly. Do stay with us. You're welcome. I'm Charles Ayitey. Tonight's Director for Network Service Operations and Enterprise at Telecom has described as a national security threat the nationwide theft of telecom equipment, adding the menace has the capacity of plunging the country into chaos. Stephen Surasta's warning comes as a Kumasi Circuit Court grants bail to two persons accused of posing as engineers of the company to steal equipment at a cell site at Ayitey, a suburb of Kumasi. Telecom has recorded 68 out of such theft cases across the country in just 2 years. Director, of course, that's the director making that statement. Ohim Interior has more in this report.
Mobile telephony firms continue to feel the negative impact of equipment and material theft at their cell sites. Felix Dugan Apri and his accomplice, identified only as Ano, posed as engineers of Telecom, climbed the company's mast and succeeded in allegedly removing a radio transceiver equipment at the cell site at Ayitey in the Ashanti region on April 20, 2022. Some workers of the firm blew the alarm, leading to their arrest. The duo made their second appearance before a Kumasi Circuit Court on Thursday and were granted bail in the sum of 200,000 Ghana cedis with two sureties to be justified. The court asked police prosecutors to fetch defense counsel with all disclosures and witness statements to set the stage for case management conference. Director, Network Service Operations and Enterprise at Telecom, Stephen Zoroaster, bemoaned the frequency at which installations of telcos have come under attack.
Since August 2020, we have had 68 cases, 68 theft cases, where they go and they scatter everything, sometimes everything in our cabinets. We need to replace all the equipment stolen, and that takes money. Sometimes they need to be manufactured by the original equipment manufacturers. And all this takes time to get done. And imagine the impact on the people whilst these services are still down. We are providing like Telecom money as a service, we are providing voice service, we are providing enterprise service to businesses. Now, when these cases happen, what it means is that all the businesses, all the people within the locality or within the specific area where the theft impacted, all the services go down. And sometimes it takes days and even weeks to get the services restored, depending on the items that were stolen. So the impact is on the economy, the impact is on national security due to the activities of these unscrupulous Ghanaians.
Hearing resumes on July 12, 2022. From Kumasi, for Joy News, Ayitey reporting.
Now, shareholders of Ecobank Ghana have approved 62 pesos per share as dividend for the 2021 financial year. At the bank's annual general meeting, this was made known. Managing Director of Ecobank Ghana, Daniel Saki, attributes the good financial performance of the bank to its primary role of focusing on customer service. Here is more in this report.
The bank recorded a profit before tax of 894 million cedis, representing a growth of 14%. Total revenue also went up by 10% to 2 billion cedis. Managing Director of Ecobank Ghana, Dan Saki, explains the reason behind the bank's sterling performance.
The growth in total revenue was driven mainly by increases in both funded and non-funded income. Our net interest income was up to 1.5 billion, an increase of 24%, whilst our fees and commissions income was up to 318 million, also showing an increase of 14%. The above was supported by growth also in our volume of earning assets, which were funded by our strong deposit base. We thank our shareholders, our customers, and our other stakeholders who continue to confide their business to the bank, as shown by our increasing deposit base, and we are grateful for the confidence that they have reposed in the bank. Ecobank continues to maintain our robust risk management posture to ensure that we continue to work to maintain and improve our asset quality. Our total assets grew by 12% to 17.9 billion, and our owners' equity or shareholders' funds were up 10% to 2.7 billion cedis.
According to him, the bank will leverage the momentum built in 2021 and continue to deliver on its mandate in 2022.
That having sensitized our customers to continually see everything from the point of view of our customers, we now start tailoring products to meet the specific needs of each of our customer groupings. We want our staff to take responsibility for anything that comes to them and solve it first time. We want to be able to ensure that any time that a customer comes into contact with the bank, any issue that he raises is resolved at the first point of contact, and that escalations beyond the first point of contact are kept to the barest minimum.
Well, away from that, consultant responsible for the Millennium Development Authority, that's Midas Ghana Power Compact 2, says that the project has helped to increase power availability and supply capacity for Ghana. Now, the Ghana Power Compact, funded by MIDA, appointed SMEC to support, assist, as well as represent MIDA by assuming full responsibility of the management of portions of this pact, which is related to works and services. Speaking to Joy Business at the PMC Compact 2 closeout event, the regional manager for SMEC, Jose Fernandez, says that he was proud of the project's achievement in Ghana's energy sector.
We have done, so let's say, basically 15 projects on the electricity, improving the power in Ghana. And of course, we are not the only players, but we manage the contractors. We did the design, manage the contractors, and our goal was to reach this stage with all these projects completed. And I think we have done it. It was a good, let's say, a good lessons learned about how we can manage projects. And I think in Ghana it's possible, and we have done it. So I'm very proud of all my team, and I congratulate all of us.
There are still some lingering issues. What more can be done to address Ghana's power challenges?
Okay, that is something that there is a lot to do. Of course, there is a lot to do. But you need to understand what is the main problems of power in Ghana. We have done the improvement of the distribution so far. I think we can continue to do it. Let's say we, Ghana, can continue doing it. So I believe that this is a good example that, let's say, ECG and Gridco and the government of Ghana can continue implementing for the future to address all, let's say, a reliable power supply to all of us.
Now, engineer of SMEC Ghana, Monetsu Desamuhupe, said the Power Compact has helped to reduce non-technical losses like power theft. He's therefore admonished the government to invest more to resolve lingering issues in the energy sector.
That way to be solved. A lot of technical losses in the transmission system, in the distribution system, and also a lot of what we call non-technical losses. Non-technical losses are power theft and things like that. So most of the projects we implemented were all tailor-made to solve these solutions. And which are these projects? We first of all put in 2 bulk supply points so as to inject power sources. That is a major contributor in reducing technical losses, which means we are bringing power closer to the distribution services. And then the other big project which we implemented to reduce technical losses, we call it the LV bifurcation. In other words, we were aiming at reducing the length of distribution lines to make them shorter by putting in more transformers closer to people and lengthen what we call MV systems. And we constructed over 1,400 kilometers of those lines to solve that problem. And also, in terms of solving non-technical losses, there are 2 things that we put in. We put in a geographical system. A geographical system was to map up the whole assets in ECG where they are. For example, where is the transformer that is supplying a certain customer located?
Well, today marks Green Ghana Day, and energy strategist Dr. Yusuf Suleiman is making a case for the country's upstream sector to focus on some initiatives to aid the government's Green Ghana initiative. But why would energy companies take a key interest in such an exercise? Who joins us to discuss? We're grateful that you could join us. Tell us more in terms of international best practices on how upstream companies are aiding to green their environment wherever they are.
Yeah, thank you very much, Charles, and good evening to you and good evening to your Charles viewers. Yeah, I think greening is something that oil and gas industry and energy industry as a whole should take a keen interest in. And the reason being that you bear in mind that, I mean, just a few months ago, after COP26, a lot of countries made pledges, various pledges that they were going to be able to achieve what we call net zero, by 2030. Some said they can do that by 2050. Now, what net zero simply means is that, yes, I can emit, but I will nullify whatever I'm emitting, or I'll net whatever I'm emitting. So if you are going to emit and you are able to capture, whatever that you are emitting, that should be a way to go. And why is it of key interest? It will come to a time that, I mean, when oil and gas industry or companies, power generation industries are going out to the capital market, to source for funds. Investors or bankers or capital, I mean, the capital market will be looking out for, their sustainability measures that they have in place, to be able to champion such. Because at the point in time, releasing what we call the greenhouse gases to the atmosphere is going to become very costly, And so, in our part of the world, we are very fortunate to have a lot of natural mechanisms, which we normally call carbon sinks, to be able to, absorb these greenhouse gases when eventually they are released. So these days, like greening simply means, of course, planting of trees. And yes, trees are credible conduits for carbon sink. In fact, they are number 2 as is rated, following oceans. Forestry or forest is one of the credible conduits that can absorb the quantum of carbon dioxide that's released into the atmosphere. And if you look at global warming, the cry is about the release of carbon dioxide to the atmosphere and the what you call methane, CH4, to the atmosphere. So if technology advances to the extent that, you can release the carbon, but you can adopt a technology we call CCT, what we call carbon capture technology, and that is happening, where the carbon dioxide that is released or methane that is released is being captured in a way that we capture it, we store it, and then we reuse it. And so it means that what this directly means is that it can perpetuate continuous investment to the world of hydrocarbon. And it's very key to our area because we still need investment to the world of hydrocarbon, to be able to champion our industrialization. So I think forestry represents that credible conduit where plants are able to take in CO2 or carbon dioxide, to generate oxygen for human consumption.
That's quite a great innovation that you have raised there regarding the use of forest covers to, of course, attract, the carbon, the environment, to really help the hydrocarbon industry. But what kind of investment patterns do you think could really aid this innovative venture that you're talking about?
Yeah, so what we're gradually going to see is that, there is a bit of kind of what I always mention capital discipline. Oil prices are within the 3-digit figure, 100 plus, but we are not seeing the quantum of investment that should have gone to the world of hydrocarbon as we would have reached. And the reason being that, yes, capital is getting constrained. And so the kind of investment pattern that, the capital market will be looking at is, if you're going to invest into the world of hydrocarbon, they would like to see what measures that you're going to have. So for oil and gas companies, I think it is time, for them to take what we call carbon offsetting or carbon capture technology. So they have to support. Let's say, I think some few months ago, Talo did a fantastic job by teaming with Forestry Commission, and I think they signed MOU, Memorandum of Understanding. And I think a lot of energy companies, they have to follow suit, because that is a trend. So the energy industry or the energy company, they have to take key interest in planting trees, because that is the only way you can back up yourself. That when I release it, this is the amount, this is the backup, that I have to be able to capture whatever CO2 or methane, that is released into the atmosphere. And yes, technology is advancing, even in the Middle East per se, where we have a lot of desert, they are also relentlessly planting trees here in day in and day out everywhere. And the reason is that greening is a credible conduit, and it's very important to do that because that is one of the natural mechanisms that can plant through photosynthesis can take in this CO2 when they are eventually released. So yes, investment has to go there, to be able to catapult investment to the world of hydrocarbon. Yeah.
Well said, Dr. Ayitey Suleiman. We're grateful for your analysis on the Green Ghana initiative. Well, we'll still stay with the Green Ghana initiative because as part of the Tree Planting Day, the Ministry of Communications and Digitalization has joined other ministries and government agencies to plant trees to complement the massive drive to plant 5 million trees in the country as part of a nationwide campaign to save Ghana's depleting forest cover. A Deputy Minister of Communications, Ama Poma Boateng, spoke to Joy Business.
From our cars to our homes, to what we study with or what we work with, we use all these electronic gadgets. And these electronic gadgets, the resources that are used to build these electronic gadgets are raw materials that are derived from where we have our forests. So cutting down of trees or replacing them is one of the areas that we are very, very interested in. If you take, for example, electronic waste, we know that from gold to silver to plastics, all these components make up the gadgets that we use. And once trees are cut, that means we are getting our resources in manufacturing these gadgets. But we need to replace them. And in replacing them, our focus is on the electronic waste.